know that all of the psychics that we have met with and that we're obsessed with are all full of but they all collectively, maybe 4 of them, have told me I was going to pass the bar. So they're all full pathological liars. Don't believe anything.
Breaking right now, Meghan Markle and Prince Harry lied. Not for the first time, but this time publicly. In terms of Kris Jenner's 70th birthday party.
When the Kardashians end up looking more honest than actual royalty, you know the system is broken. And that's exactly where we are right now. Kim and Khloe Kardashian just dropped the truth about Meghan Markle and Prince Harry on their podcast. And honestly, it's brutal.
So, they are not fans of Harry and Meghan, I don't think, after this. They try to play it off pretty nice, but they are not fans.
What happens when the most powerful family in reality TV ends up sounding more believable than 2 people who used to live behind palace gates? And if a couple is willing to rewrite something as small as a party photo, what does that say about every bigger story they've told? All right, lean in because this one is messy in a very specific way. Not someone yelled at someone in a restaurant messy. More like the timeline doesn't match the excuse, the receipts don't match the statement, and the optics are doing backflips messy. Quick grounding before we jump in. A lot of what you're about to hear is based on online chatter, podcast commentary, anonymous source storytelling, and people connecting dots from public posts. Treat it as entertainment and analysis of claims, not a court-verified documentary. Cool? Cool. Now let's set the scene. Picture Beverly Hills. Picture a mansion that doesn't just have a gate, it has a gate with a gate. And according to the story making the rounds, this wasn't some low-key dinner. This was Kris Jenner's big 70th birthday blowout, allegedly at Jeff Bezos' Beverly Hills place. The kind of party where the lighting is better than your phone camera, and the photographer is basically part of the decor. And then, here's where the internet gasps dramatically. Harry and Meghan allegedly show up. Not slipping through a side door, not hiding behind a ficus, not doing the "I'm just here for 5 minutes" lie that we all tell when we don't want to commit. The story says front entrance, cameras, flashes, smiles. And that part matters because everything that happens next depends on one question. Were they there to be seen or were they there to not be seen? Because those are not the same event, and you can't have both. Not at a Kardashian party. That's like going to a swimming pool and being shocked there's water. So allegedly, they're inside, they're taking photos, everyone's vibing, and at some point, the photos hit social media. And then, this is the moment that turns a normal celebrity party into a full-on PR soap opera. Those photos reportedly get deleted not long after. Deleted photos are never just deleted photos. Deleted photos are a confession that someone panicked. And the panic, according to the way this story is being told online, is where the lying accusations start. Because the claim is that Harry and Meghan's team then went into overdrive with a very specific explanation. We didn't consent. There was a form. We checked no photos. We never gave permission. And basically, the Kardashians posted anyway. That's the alleged line. And if that were true, it would be a pretty serious etiquette breach in celebrity land. Because yes, parties like that can involve permission, controls, agreements, and quiet rules. It's not always a free-for-all. But here's the twist that made people choke on their coffee. Kim and Khloe then discussed it publicly on a podcast, and they basically told a completely different version. Not in a screaming way, not in a let's destroy them way. More like that calm, deadly tone people use when they're confident the receipts are sitting in a folder somewhere. And that, friends, is the most dangerous kind of public disagreement, the polite kind. Because if someone is lying, the calm person usually wins. The calm person sounds like they've already checked the facts twice. So online, the narrative becomes Harry and Meghan got caught. And the reason it blew up even bigger is because the why they allegedly used sounded noble-ish. The rumor is that they wanted the photos pulled because Remembrance Day was right there on the calendar, and the optics of being photographed partying would be bad. On paper, that's a clean excuse, almost respectable. But then the internet did what the internet always does. It zoomed in. And according to the chatter, in at least one of the photos, Harry is wearing a poppy on his lapel. Now let me pause, because if that detail is accurate, it's brutal. A poppy isn't just a random pin. It's basically a visual reminder that you're aware of what the day represents. It's like wearing a name tag and claiming you forgot your name. It's not impossible, it's just not believable. So people online went, wait, you're telling us you forgot the day while literally wearing the symbol of the day? And that's where the manipulation accusations start to snowball. Because once the public thinks you used a serious occasion as a cover story, the trust drops through the floor. Now enter Kim and Khloe's alleged version. The way online commentators summarize it is like this. Number 1, they weren't friends with Meghan in the way people assumed. Number 2, the connection was more Meghan knows Kris than Meghan is in the Kardashian sister circle. Number 3, they claim they don't post people without permission, and that permission was given. Number 4, they suggest there was no formal consent form like the one Harry and Meghan's side allegedly described. And here's the killer detail. Allegedly, they went through the photos together, face to face, and approval happened before anything was posted. If that's even half true, it flips the whole story. Because then the sequence isn't posted without consent, it becomes approved, posted, backlash, panic, delete, rewrite the reason. And that's why this became a bigger conversation than a birthday party. Because it's not about the pictures, it's about the pattern people think they're seeing. Now I'm gonna say something that'll probably get me yelled at in the comments, but fine, yell nicely. The Kardashians have many talents, many, some of them questionable. But one thing they understand in their bones is modern media. They understand how screenshots work. They understand how timelines work. They understand that you can't unpost something from the internet. You can only make it more interesting. And that's why if they chose to speak publicly at all, it suggests they felt confident they wouldn't be contradicted by hard evidence. Because they do not step into mess unless they think they can win the mess. And the funniest part, according to the podcast chatter, is they didn't even go nuclear. They didn't drag, they didn't leak, they didn't accidentally upload a worse photo. They basically said, we kept it classy, we posted the most dignified shots, and we have funnier, crazier ones we didn't share. Which is terrifying. That's like someone smiling at you and saying, oh, don't worry, I have way more footage. I'm just choosing peace today. Choosing peace is not what you want your opponent doing when you're already in a PR storm. Now here's where it gets spicy, because Kim allegedly tried to hand Meghan a lifeline. The reported suggestion was basically, let's make it funny, let's joke about it, let's do a playful Skims moment, let's lean in and make the deletion part of the bit. And Meghan allegedly wasn't into it. And if that's true, it says a lot about the difference in how both sides handle public embarrassment. Kim's brand is entirely, yes, you're going to talk, so I'll control the narrative by laughing first. Meghan's brand, according to critics, is more, no, you're not allowed to talk that way, and if you do, I'll correct you. One of those strategies works better in 2026. I'll let you guess which. Now, a lot of people watching this story unfold are asking, okay, but why would Harry and Meghan care this much about a few photos? And the answer is because the photos aren't just photos. They're evidence of where you stand in the social hierarchy you're trying to enter. If you're trying to be seen as Hollywood royalty, being photographed at the right party with the right people is currency. But if the photos make you look awkward, stiff, out of place, or like you're hovering at the edge of someone else's empire, that currency becomes counterfeit. Online, commentators zoomed in on styling, posture, angles, expressions, all of it. People were roasting, people were doing side-by-sides, people were making those brutal who invited them jokes. And that's when the Remembrance Day excuse started to look, to critics, like a cover for vanity. Not we respect the day, but we hate how we look. Again, alleged speculation, commentary, but that's the vibe the internet ran with. And the reason it hit harder is because Harry's public image is tightly tied to veterans, military service, and Invictus. If you're seen partying right before a major remembrance moment, the criticism writes itself.
This is one of those situations where you don't even need haters. The optics generate their own backlash. Now let's talk about the bigger theme people keep pointing to, the privacy versus publicity whiplash. Because that's the engine behind so much of the criticism. If you go to a Kardashian-level party, you are not entering a monastery, You're entering a content ecosystem. It's cameras, it's curated, it's social proof. So critics say you don't get to show up to be included and then act shocked that inclusion comes with a photo. That's like ordering fries and suing because you got potatoes. And allegedly, that's why the Kardashian side found the "we didn't consent" framing insulting, because in their world, consent is part of the process, and they claim they followed it. Now, let me drop a subscribe moment right here, because if you love these slow-burn Hollywood meets royalty sagas where every detail becomes a chess move, hit subscribe. And like the video because it tells the algorithm you want more of this delicious nonsense. Also, comment right now, do you think this was a genuine consent misunderstanding or a PR pivot after backlash? Because the comments on this one are going to be war. Now, let's widen the lens. Why does this birthday party story land so hard? Because it plugs into an existing public debate about credibility. The script you gave me leans into a bigger list of past controversies that people cite. Oprah interview disputes, legal testimony debates, awards backlash, photo op criticism, family fallouts, broken friendships, and all the rest. Here's the careful way to say it. There is a long-running online argument that Harry and Meghan's public statements have contained inconsistencies over the years, and that critics use those inconsistencies to claim a pattern of spin. Supporters argue they've been misrepresented, taken out of context, and attacked unfairly. Both sides feel like they have proof, and they're both loud. So when a brand new mini-scandal pops up, people don't treat it like a one-off. They drop it into the ongoing case file in their heads. That's why this got traction. It's not two people went to a party, it's two people went to a party and the story about it changed. Now, let's add one more layer, power dynamics. Because if you're going to pick a fight in Hollywood, the Kardashians are not the family you want to quietly imply behaved badly. Not because they're morally superior, please, that's not what I'm saying. Because they are media trained in a way most people aren't. They know how to protect themselves publicly while letting the other person look like the aggressor. They also have relationships, lawyers, PR, and an entire machine built around controlling perception. So critics online said Harry and Meghan tried to throw the Kardashians under the bus, and that was a strategic mistake. And what makes it even sharper is how Kim allegedly referred to Meghan. Not Duchess, not the full royal styling, just Meghan Markle. Now, that might sound tiny, but in status games, tiny is everything. That's a subtle, "I'm not playing your title game" signal. And if you're Meghan, trying to be taken seriously as both royal adjacent and Hollywood adjacent, having Kim Kardashian casually flatten your brand into a first and last name is not ideal. It's the social equivalent of someone looking at your fancy new car and saying, "cute." Now we need to talk about the alleged motivation people keep assigning: access. A big piece of the commentary ecosystem claims Meghan tends to form relationships with older, influential gatekeepers, rather than with peers who might not need anything from her. You see this idea repeated with names like Oprah, Tyler Perry, wealthy circles, power brokers, and now Kris Jenner. To be clear, that's interpretation, not proven fact, but it's a popular theory in the commentary space. And in this birthday party story, that theory becomes Meghan's connection is with Kris, not with Kim and Khloe, which would explain why the sisters sound politely distant while still being polite. It's that classic vibe of, "You're my mom's friend, not mine." And if you've ever dated someone whose mom loves you but the siblings don't, you know exactly how that feels. The room is warm, but the air is sharp. Now let's pivot to the UK angle your script brings in, because this is where the story turns into a thriller. The claim is, back in Britain, William is watching the chaos and preparing. In the script, there's mention of William hiring a crisis PR expert, and the idea that he's bracing for future drama, especially with big public events like Invictus coming up, and the possibility of Harry and Meghan being physically closer to the UK media ecosystem again. Now, I'm not going to present any of that as confirmed, but as a narrative, it makes sense. Institutions plan for reputational risk. That's what they do.
And if the public believes a messy reunion season is coming, they'll read every staffing move as a chess piece. So the story becomes Hollywood humiliates Meghan, the UK watches, William prepares, Charles maybe wants peace, and Harry is caught between worlds. Which is the core dramatic tension here, goals that don't match. If Harry wants some version of reconciliation with the UK and Meghan wants a dominant Hollywood brand, those paths collide. Because the UK expects restraint and duty, Hollywood rewards visibility and hustle. You can't be private and also be a brand that needs attention to survive. And that's why the birthday party thing matters. It's like a tiny window into a bigger identity crisis. Who are you trying to be? Now let's talk about Catherine, because your script uses her as contrast, and honestly, contrast is the weapon of royal commentary. The idea is Catherine shows up, does the job, looks unfiltered in the rain, interacts with people, and the public reads that as authentic. Meanwhile, Meghan is seen as curated, staged, and overly controlled. Again, supporters will argue Meghan can't win no matter what she does. Critics will argue Catherine wins because she doesn't fight the camera, she just works. That contrast is part of why the internet keeps comparing them. It becomes less about two women and more about two philosophies. Now, here's the big takeaway your script is building towards. Even if you don't care about Kris Jenner's birthday party, even if you're exhausted by Sussex discourse, even if you're allergic to Kardashian content, this story sticks because it's about trust. Public figures live and die on whether people believe them. And when the public thinks they caught you editing the truth, your future stories don't get the benefit of the doubt. That's why this turned into, if they'll lie about small things, what about big things commentary. Is that fair? Sometimes yes, sometimes no. But it's how audiences behave. Because audiences aren't just evaluating facts, they're evaluating vibes. And vibes decide who gets grace and who gets dragged. Now let me ask you something genuinely. Do you think this is a case of two PR teams miscommunicating, or do you think it's a deliberate walk-it-back moment after the internet reaction? Drop your answer in the comments. I read them, and I want to see where you land. And if you want me to keep tracking these stories as they evolve, hit subscribe, because if this is the appetizer, the next few months could be the full buffet, allegedly, potentially, according to the way chaos works. Now, final beat, cinematic style. If the birthday party story is accurate, the tragedy for Harry and Meghan isn't that the photos were posted. It's that the photos told a story they couldn't control. A poppy on the lapel, a party on the calendar, a quick deletion, a public contradiction from people who know the game. And when your image depends on control, one uncontrolled moment can feel like a disaster. So yeah, it's not just a party. It's a tiny crack that people are using to argue the whole wall is unstable. Alright, that's where I'll leave it. Like the video if you want more breakdowns, subscribe if you're following this saga, and comment your take. Team Misunderstanding or Team PR Pivot? Thanks for watching, seriously, appreciate you.